Well, I do believe that people there at Comic-Con on the floor must come by and visit because one, we're different than everybody else. One, we're the only place that's going to represent Chuck Jones artwork, the history. Every comic artist, to some extent, gives some sort of nod to Chuck and the characters that were developed even as early as the 1930s that inspired their artwork. Filmmakers have continually always given praise to Chuck, and certainly in all film, whether it's whether they're comic based or all film, animation is a part of everything these days. As far as whether it's CGI, whether it's recreating characters in animation, whether it's full blown animation, it's a part of everything we do. And those people that started it, people like Walt Disney and Chuck Jones and Friz Freleng, Winsor McCay, they were the people that developed this, that inspired the next five, six, seven generations to create their artwork in film, in cartoon, in comic books, in whatever genre it is. And so there's a genesis there at our booth to experience not only what Chuck did, but what other artists are now doing with the Looney Tunes characters that have only been around for about 90 years now, that we alone get to represent. So anybody, and there's special artwork, there's special opportunities. This is Craig Kausen with the Chuck Jones Gallery and the Chuck Jones Center for Creativity. If you want to find out more about the events coming up at Comic-Con this weekend, tune in to this video now. One of the unique things that an opportunity that arose this year was for us to once again, after I don't even know how many years, 15, 20 years, to be back on the floor at Comic-Con. And so the Chuck Jones Gallery, who's always had a gallery presence in San Diego for the last, when did we go there? 14, 15 years ago. We were in Old Town for a while. Now, then we went to the Gas Lamp. And now to have a fairly large spot on the floor is exciting for us because that's really the heart and soul, and everybody can find us. And we are sort of centrally located. So the opportunity for us as the gallery to present not only Chuck's work, obviously, which will have special artwork there for the entire show, but particularly on Saturday. But then some of our premier artists, Dan Bowden, Ben Olson, others who are coming in, we get to showcase their artwork as their careers are really taking off in the art world. And they're having so much fun focusing on these characters that they're able to play with. And so we'll be showcasing them. They'll be on the floor during the event. It's going to be exciting to see that many people exposed to these young artists. And I referred to anybody under Chuck's age who would be 110 and almost 111, as these young artists, especially young with these characters. So they're bringing new things and new excitement to the characters and the artwork at Comic-Con. We will have a wide variety of artists represented at this. There will be art from Stephen Reis, the Simpsons storyboard artist and director for nearly 30 years. He will be there, I believe, on Friday showing his artwork. Ben Olson will obviously be there. Dan Bowden will be there. Chuck Jones will be there in a lot of ways. We're going to bring out artwork from a number of other artists that I may be blanking on, but I believe that there may be some Daniel Killen artwork that's down there. There will be perhaps even, I can't really reveal that because it's supposed to be a surprise, but there will be some other artists that we're bringing artwork out of the archives to show at Comic-Con because we have the opportunity to share it with so many tens of thousands of people who will be coming by every day. So I know that on our website, there is a schedule of artists that will be appearing. I personally will be there at 11 o'clock on Saturday, meeting and greeting people. And I will be bringing some special artwork that I can't quite share because Scott said it's a secret, and I'm pretty good at keeping those secrets. But come by on Saturday at 11 o'clock, and you can see some of the archive artwork that I have brought down specifically for that event with me. One of the things that I really came to appreciate when I would go travel with Chuck throughout the 90s and into the early 2000s, as I was fortunate enough to spend a lot of time with them around the country and actually around the world, going to shows is the opportunity for people to meet the artist, to find out what they're about, because it's it's not just about the artwork. The artwork is spectacular. These artists are well trained. They have something to say in their artwork, but to meet them in person is something that's incredibly rare and special. You know, both of these artists don't even live in California, yet they're making the trek out with Dan and Ben to come all the way across the country to be there for that. And what I'm looking forward to is watching the interactions. You know, this is a great opportunity for the artists to really get feedback on what people are enjoying about their artwork, to ask questions, because it's their story that they're bringing to life. And then to see the interaction, to see the relationships that develop. And oftentimes collectors begin at these types of events because you fall in love with an artist, and then you're like, now I get the art that much more. And so when the collector goes home, they take that piece of art, they talk about the story when they met Ben or met Dan or met Stephen, or, you know, heard the stories about Chuck, that all of a sudden they become a part of it. And they get to share that with everybody that they come in contact with, that they get to share their artwork with. So I think that's the magic of having that sort of interaction. And especially with the numbers of people who are there passionately. And I'm looking forward to all the costumes and all of the cosplay that will happen, that I look forward to every year at Comic-Con, because there's artists who put together their costumes, and anybody who's doing this is an artist in their own right, to portray the characters that they love. And they'll come by and have these conversations. I've never seen anything like that in a normal art show, where all of a sudden you've got a fully clothed comic character having a conversation with an artist who's passionate about that character. So there's something pretty special about this particular event. And it's so nice to have it, you know, full bloom again, where we all get together and experience all of this on the floor at Comic-Con. So I think one of the things that is special about being back on the floor this year, after so many years, is that we have had the Chuck Jones Publishing Company was established by my mother in 1977. So that's 46 years that's been going on. We established the first Chuck Jones Gallery in 1991, I believe. So that's been going on for 32 years. And so, and we've had galleries in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and we still have one in San Diego, Santa Fe, Orange County. We do pop-up galleries, Palm Desert. We've had it, you know, at different places. There's an experience about interacting with the Chuck Jones Gallery, because it's very simple what we want to do at the gallery. We want to be your art consultant for life. What that really means is that, you know, we want you to feel comfortable having a relationship with us, so that we can find the artwork that you love and put it in your home or office and your collections. And so the opportunity for us to meet so many new people, to tell them about who we are. Most people come into a gallery or come into a pop-up and say, I didn't even know you existed. And so that's my bad, not doing well enough to get the word out that there is a Chuck Jones Gallery, not just showcasing Chuck's artwork, which we still are able to showcase his special artwork, but all these artists who are following in his footsteps by being passionate about what they're doing with the Looney Tunes characters and others, and really exemplifying creativity and their art, celebrating what Chuck started so many decades ago. Well, I do believe that that people there at Comic-Con on the floor must come by and visit, because one, we're different than everybody else. One, we're the only place that's going to represent Chuck Jones artwork, the history. Every comic artist, to some extent, gives some sort of nod to Chuck and the characters that were developed even as early as the 1930s that inspired their artwork. Filmmakers have continually always given praise to Chuck, and certainly in all film, whether it's, you know, whether they're comic based or all film, animation is a part of everything these days, as far as whether it's CGI, whether it's recreating characters in animation, whether it's full-blown animation. It's a part of everything we do. And those people that started it, people like Walt Disney and Chuck Jones and Friz Freleng, Winsor McCay, they were the people that developed this, that inspired the next 5, 6, 7 generations to create their artwork in film, in cartoon, in comic books, in whatever genre it is. And so there's a genesis there at our booth to experience not only what Chuck did, but what other artists are now doing with the Looney Tunes characters that have only been around for about 90 years now, that we alone get to represent. So anybody, and there's special artwork, there's special opportunities. Well, one of the things that's exciting really in the last couple of years is that as we continue to expand the opportunities with our Warner Brothers licensing to utilize other characters in the artwork and really focus on things that we haven't been able to previous to the last few years, including Hanna-Barbera and the Jetsons. You got Yogi Bear. You've got all kinds of new characters that people are playing with, and of course the new artists who are really adventuring off. So, and they have been working for the last 3 or 4 months specifically in artwork to be released at this show. And so this time, and as they fly in or drive in, they get to at this one opportunity over these few days be able to share this collection of artwork. So, and I have a stash of some special things that if for those who show up for the special Chuck Jones Day, will get the opportunity to view and collect some things out of the Chuck Jones Museum collections for their own collection, if they would like to add that. So that would be the things that I've selected. I think will surprise some people. One of the things that I just want to make sure that everybody who's coming to San Diego, or if you can't come to San Diego for this weekend because it is sold out as a city, we do have a permanent gallery in Little Italy that is always there, that is open regularly, that if you miss this event, come visit the gallery at some point to see the artists and the collections that we have there on Kettner Avenue in Little Italy in San Diego on an ongoing basis. So even though this is a major event where we get exposure on the floor to so many people, the Chuck Jones Gallery is there all the time. Well, this is Craig Kausen. I am fortunately Chuck Jones' grandson. I will be at Comic-Con on Friday and Saturday, doing a very special Chuck Jones event on Saturday at 11 o'clock. But I invite everybody to come down to Comic-Con, come visit us on the floor. And if you can't get to us on the floor or don't have a ticket, come visit us at the Comic-Con Museum Friday afternoon from 2:30 to 5 o'clock for a Chuck Jones Big Draw, where you can get your hands involved with drawing, with creating, with just being creative with some of our artists and others. I'll see you there.